Once upon a storyline. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna talk about the Indigo incident's, you guessed it, storyline. If you don't know about it, check the links below in the description. Find yourself a little bit of information on that. Go ahead. I'll wait. So, about the Indigo incident. I'm pretty excited about this whole thing for several reasons. One, because it's an event, One, because it's a concept that I don't think has really ever been done here before. Kind of an event mixed with a storyline, and then you as the event goer kind of participate in the story. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. Then you have the actual storyline itself. It's not extremely long or complicated, but at the same time it does have layers, and if say 4 different people examine the story, at the end of it you could definitely have 4 different opinions on what it was actually all about. It's a rich enough narrative that you can pull different theories from it, is what I'm saying. So let's talk about some of those theories. Theory 1. Keep it simple, stupid! Occam's razor, anyone? The easy way to think about the whole Indigo thing is to not actually think too much about it at all. The kind of clinical, skeptical thinker, the see it to believe it kind of person, they could easily look at the story and go, oh well, clearly the poor girl is just mentally unstable. Probably suffering from synesthesia and schizophrenia, as a licensed professional has noted, and she believes that she sees colors that actually talk to her. She has violent tendencies, and she will act out. Basically, this theory boils down to one sentence. The whole thing is about a mentally unstable girl who needs help. Now, this theory relies heavily on support from tape number 4. In that video, Dr. Anderson clearly suggests that this is just a case of a mental patient escaping. He clearly states, in medical terms, what he believes the issue is, and it all sounds plausible. Now that's weird and creepy enough for an asylum event by OCC, right? You can leave it at that, and it's a fairly unsettling plot. But how about this second theory then? Theory 2. Parents say the craziest things. Theory number 2 is that Indigo is not crazy, actually does have powers like her parents always believed, and in fact use those powers to escape the asylum. Interestingly enough, this theory also uses tape 4 as its main evidence. Most notably is that if you look at Dr. Anderson's demeanor and body language, you can clearly see that something else is going on. He is legitimately unsettled. And hey, if it were just any old patient escaping, why would he be that upset? Also, his last few words seem to indicate that Dr. Anderson feels that Indigo might not be as helpless as we are led to believe. But I think the strongest evidence for this theory is in the transcript of tape 3. Or actually, the whole transcript itself. Go check it out in the link. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that sink in. But, speaking of tape 3, this nicely brings us to Theory 3. Theory 3. Living color. Now this one goes a little something like this. Indigo is mentally sane, purely. She is a normal little girl with 0 powers, other than the power to make a mess whenever she draws or paints. And the colors, yeah, those are real, actual beings of color that somehow and for some reason only appear to Indigo. But do they though? Only appear to her, that is? Because remember the transcript of tape 3? A legitimate nurse with no apparent link to anything weird or special claims to have seen and spoken to a girl named Magenta, who officially doesn't seem to have ever existed. So yeah, that kinda suggests that there might be something more to the colors than meets the eye. Get it? Because colors meet your eye. Anyway, so these colors are beings of some sort. Ghosts, aliens, extra-dimensional beings, magic, something or the other. Not human, not animal, not fictional. But the question then is, why do they have this clear fixation with Indigo? This is where it gets tricky. The timeline is vague. The nurse interview transcript doesn't give us any dates. And tape 4 is pretty much devoid of a steady timeline that we could work with. But Dr. Anderson does mention Indigo having an accident before going in for a checkup. There's no mention of when she became obsessed with colors. But if we're following this theory to its logical conclusion, boy, are we gonna try! That accident would seem like the point in time where the colors first appeared to her. But why her? Maybe the colors knew that her parents thought that she was special, and that caused them to believe it. Now, whatever the case, these colors are obviously not normal humans, and so you can't really expect them to think or act as such. That in turn means that it's just so much harder to figure out their true intentions. Which brings us to our fourth theory. Theory 4. Why not both? Because all three. Indigo is mentally insane, does have these illnesses that the doctor spoke about. Her parents believe she has special powers, and she totally does. The colors are beings independent of her powers, and they exist with or without her. But because of her powers, these beings are attracted to her, like colored moths to a tiny nutty flame. Moths. Personally, I dig this theory a lot. Kinda takes everything and ties it up into a nice little package. It uses evidence from every source, and it seems to link up with everything we know about Indigo. So, what theory do you think is most likely? Do you have another theory that's not covered in this video? Why do unicorns like Captain Crunch? Post your theory, answer, question, or whatever below. Come on, man, in the comments box. Speaking of whatever the case may be, in the end, Indigo is special. Because she managed to get us all to go to her housewarming party, where she is probably going to kill us all. Bye! Actually does have powers, like her power. Bye!